Caution: this game contains scenes of violence and gore, as well as depictions of criminal acts. These acts are strictly punished by law. Please do not attempt to imitate them. This game also contains themes of sexual violence and self harm. This game is a work of fiction. Any relationship to real persons, groups, places, or crimes is coincidental. The one halting her was a classmate of hers, Ninomiya Minako. Orihara, mind if we talk a sec? Kozue winced at the clear animosity laced in her words. Moreover, Minako was not the only one there. 5 girls stood behind Minako, lying in wait. All of them were classmates, but Kozue was unable to recall their names and faces. Yeah, I knew you wouldn't mind, so you coming? As she remained unresponsive and unsure of what to do, Kozue's quivering shoulders were then shoved not by Minako, but by one of the girls behind her. Come on, say something! Feeling entrapped by the crowd of girls, tears began pouring from the corners of her eyes. Her captors were quick to take notice, growing even further agitated. Oh, give me a... There's no way you're fucking crying. Come on already. She refused to go with them, for she had a horrible feeling about the events to come. But when they grabbed her by no harms, she realized that she no longer had a choice in the matter. They brought her out to the rooftop. 10 more girls were waiting up there. Nearly everyone was a classmate of hers. When she realized this truth, Kozue was left deeply confused. Kozue could predict very well what would happen from this moment. She could acutely feel the intense malice directed at her from those present. Kozue shook in fear from the sheer number of negative delusions flowing into her. Despite her best efforts to endure, her tears simply would not stop flowing. Is she crying already? Whoa, really? You can't be serious. Even though Kozue had only just transferred to the school, her peers held nothing back in their barrage of insults. Of course, she was well aware of the bitter hatred the girls felt for her. Try as she might to block out their inner voices in the classroom, the utter animosity they held onto was not something she had been able to ignore. But despite such contempt, no one ever approached her in this manner before. She tried to run, but being surrounded by so many of her classmates left her no route to escape with. You ain't going anywhere. Minako's trying to talk to you here, and you're gonna listen. Prompted by her classmate's threat, Minako glared toward Kozue with intense hatred. Minako's demeanor was that of a tall, rigid model, providing a heavy contrast to Kozue's small, petite frame. Now listen here, Orihara. Keep your horror-ass eyes off my Daisuke, got it? Nigga, nobody want your shitty-ass man. He tries to fuck No, hold on. This is her? This is the girl? Nobody wants your man, girl. He's the... I'm sorry. That nigga would literally try... That nigga would literally fuck anything that moves. And you're sitting here worried about Orihara? But ISA jumped off a building. Your nigga is at the hospital right now trying to fuck her. But these words would not defend her, would never leave her mouth. She simply made a small shrinking to the ground in order to withstand the fierce chaos and confusion. You hear me, bitch? Cut the bullshit. I know you're trying to get your hands on my boyfriend. Kozue frantically shook her head in denial. She had no recollection of this person at all. Then she at last realized that the person they spoke to of was her classmate, Misumi. If that was truly who they were referring to, then Kozue never had any intention of leering at him. In truth, it was quite the opposite. His entirely overt ulterior motives were nothing but a source of vexation to her. Nobody likes you know that, right? You've been a real pain in the ass ever since you got here. Hey, why you ain't talking? Trying to act cute or some shit? I told you, she's totally fucking with us. Disgusting shit stain. Or could it be you've got a problem talking to boys, but you haven't got the slightest interest in talking to us? Are you not in the goddamn mood, whore? Say something, you ugly bitch! They pulled her hair. They struck her face. They shoved her shoulders. There was no escape. They would not let her. Bullying, beating up, Kozue shuddered in fear at the words that fluttered over her mind. Save me, Shina-shan. Save me, Takumi-shan. Her inner voice cried out, but it was clear that help would not arrive anytime soon. Before she had even moved here to Tokyo, this was how it always had been. No matter how much Kozue wished for someone to help her, it would never come. She had no choice but to bear it. If only it were this much, she could bear it. That thought was just as transient as the last. Uh-oh. Don't pull the 9 out on them. From somewhere she could not quite discern, a noise faintly began to echo. The faces of her classmates immediately lost all expression. Each and every... All right, so there's a porter on the roof, and that fat piece of shit is about to make all of them pull out their mirrors, and then as if they had planned before it, they all retrieve something from within them. Each person held a handheld mirror. Mirrors of all manners and shapes and sizes. Dude, how badly they need that code sample bad if they're gonna go this far to fucking gang stalk her. It was like a cult performing a ritual. With each mirror, Kozue could be seen stricken with the utmost terror, each silver screen reflecting a girl whose eyes were convulsing uncontrollably. The nightmares that had once plagued Kozue began to resurface. She was losing the self she knew. She could not stop trembling. She shook her head violently in denial. Her eyes wandered between each mirror. As her head shuddered and shook, the convulsions seizing her eyes continued. Kozue tried to scream, but could only muster a feeble cry. Mustard. I'll kill you, 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 I'll kill you. The dominance of dark, sickly delusions began to enshroud her mind. She then became cognizant of the D-sword clutched tightly in her hands. A faint beam of red shone across the blade, flickering with a delightful shriek. Not a hint of his brutality was left concealed. Its mere aura fiercely intimidated all those who beheld it. Everything fell before it to ruin. Before was consumed. Everything before it returned to nothing. And now, as settled, her sword resided somewhere. Her once expressionless classmates awakened from their trance, greatly alarmed by what was unfolding. But by then, it was far too late. Tears pouring down her cheeks, Kozue let out a scream. Her eyes could no longer see. With a single step, Kozue staggered forward. Effortlessly, she raised the D-sword above her head. At the present moment, it was Minako who was in her path. What came next would be appropriately referred to as an immediate bisection. From the left arm to the right shoulder, her body was ripped apart. Regarding what had happened to the girl, the word slash would have been far too disingenuous. Sickeningly extreme amounts of blood burst forth from her body. As she raised the D-sword aloft, this time Kozue staggered backward. It was as if the sword had drawn her back. Her body moved around adroitly, almost as if it were dancing. Despite her remarkably petite frame, she swung the gigantic sword around with incredible ease. Despite being far past death, Minako's corpse was further desecrated in obscene acts of violence. The freshly spilt blood danced in the air along with Kozue and her sword, dyeing the concrete crimson. Kozue, sapped of any remaining strength, collapsed seconds later in unison with what had used to be Minako. She was sobbing her heart out, the tears forcing her eyes to remain closed. Faced with that horrific display, her classmates stared in a daze, their mouths hanging agape. Not a single one moved from where they stood. It was as if they could not comprehend what had just occurred. Swaying slowly, Kozue returned to her feet. Any more bitches want to fuck with me? Her head hung low as convulsive sobs assailed her. pointed directly at her petrified classmates. Blood trickled from her D-sword. I'll kill you. The very next moment, innumerable shrieks ripped through the air before disappearing into the sky forever. Don't fuck with the P. Walking as fast as I could, I headed directly for my school. I kept my eyes out for anyone at all. If someone even dared to approach me, I'd run away as fast as I possibly could. I've been hyperventilating for forever now, wheezing again and again, my throat desperately gasped for air. The sweat beaded effortlessly on my forehead. No matter how much I wiped it away, it just kept coming. I was just going to school. So I could get Kozapi to help with whatever the hell this was. I needed her to fight the bastards that were trying to break me. Kozapi would definitely do it. She was completely broken herself after all. I wanted to kill them. Shogun and his cronies needed to fucking die. There was no doubt in my mind the people at my base yesterday had been Shogun and his underlings. They were finally cutting the bullshit, and now they were gunning to finish the job. They targeted me, begun their extensive mission to wear me down, and now they were moving to kill me in the sickest, vilest, most disgusting way they could possibly imagine. I couldn't take it. I didn't want to die, so I had to kill them before they killed me. That sound again! Yesterday I'd heard the same exact creaking sound behind me. I whipped around, wincing in anticipation of what might come, and yet not a soul was behind me. There was no wheelchair in sight. It couldn't have been a hallucination. I'd heard it right fucking behind me. Was Shogun still attacking me? I broke into a mad dash. No way in hell was I going to stand around all alone, and yet it followed me. The sound clung tightly to my back. I could hear it directly behind me as I ran. Stop it. Get away. Stop chasing me. Don't look at me. I was about to snap. I no longer had the stomach to take another look behind me. I stumbled my way to the school gate. The bell still hadn't rung yet. I was on the verge of being tardy, but I could still see other students here and there. Just looking at another person was enough to make me flinch. But if I didn't go into the building, I wouldn't be able to find Kozapi. Steeling myself, I entered the school's grounds. When I heard something once again. But it wasn't a wheelchair this time. It was a cell phone shutter. My gaze shot all around myself. Who the hell? Who'd taken the photo? Nobody was looking at me. Nobody had a cell phone out. What the fuck? What the fucking fuck? I covered my ears without looking where I was going. I bolted. Without stopping even once I finally made it to the classroom. I was about to burst into the room, only to frantically stop dead in my tracks and turn right back around. The class DQNs were all assembled in there. The second my eyes had met one of them, I'd given up on completely going in. God damn it. This world was plagued with my enemies. Every single person was my enemy. All of you should die. Every fucking last one of you should just die. Since I couldn't go in the room, I opted to just turn around and keep walking. Maybe a delusion or two about massacring those DQN's pieces of shit would cheer me up. I had only glanced in the room, but I hadn't seen Kozapi. Actually, there hadn't been any girls in the classroom at all. That was pretty strange, actually, but I still couldn't care less. All I was cared about was figuring out where the hell Kozapi had wandered off to. If all the times were to completely disappear on me, it just had to be now. I was still wheezing from before, my breath violently forcing itself in and out of my lungs. When they saw me like that, the other students down the halls stopped walking and stared. Don't look at me. That sound again. Looking back, I saw 4 DQN guys I hadn't noticed before. They all had the biggest smirks on their faces, each one of their cell phones trained on me. Don't look at me! Ignore them. Kozapi can just kill them later on. A delusion like that sounded so exhilarating. Every last one of them dying a horrible death. I'd had fucking enough of this world. Kozapi still was nowhere to be found. I had no clue where she was. Maybe she hadn't come to school today? But if that was the case, then what was I supposed to do? I really doubted I could fend off Shogun's attempts to break me, especially for a whole day. but I've been pretending to be tough inside my head this whole time. My wheeze were weak and unshaking controllably. And if I didn't stay focused for even 1 second, I'd likely sink to the floor and stay there. Kosapi, where did you go? Where the hell did you go, please? Just save me. Startled, I stopped dead in my tracks. I'd heard a voice in my head that felt like it'd come from right next to me. Someone's inner voice. Kosapi, where are you? Looking around, I saw Kosapi squatting down near her corner by the entrance, cradling her head. The moment I saw her, a gasp forced its way from my mouth. Her entire body was a deep crimson, as if waves of red from an ocean of blood had crashed down upon her. No, it wasn't simply as if. She was undeniably covered in a ridiculous amount of blood. I wanted to scream, but my voice had stopped working. Kosapi, say something! Kosapi! When I called out to her with my inner voice, Kosapi slowly raised her head. Tears were flooding from her eyes, leaving them red and congested. Without getting up from the ground, she grabbed onto my shirt. She clung to me as if her life depended on it. What are you? What's that supposed to mean? I tried to ask again, but she just buried her face to my chest and shook from side to side. The reddish-black blood coating her entire body seeped into my uniform and slowly spread through it. I never realized how small Kosapi truly was. Her body was so fragile it felt like something might break at any moment. Only when I embraced her head had I finally come to and realized this. I'm your friend, Kosapi. That's why I came to you for help. I only said what was on my mind. I was being sincerely selfish, but Kosapi was the only one I could turn to. I'm not going to be a bully to you. The guys bullying me are my main concern. That's more important here anyway. I need your protection. What do you mean? You have a D-sword. Him? What, your D-sword? As I asked that inside my head, Kosapi nodded. She then nestled further into me. Without warning, I was hit with a fierce impact. Images burst into my mind like an intense montage of flashbacks. The school, its rooftop, the rusty smell of blood, a sea of blood, endless chunks of meat strewn across the concrete, disconnected, disjointed hunks of flesh I couldn't identify, and Kosapi standing in the middle of it all, her breathing heavy and a D-sword in her hand. I then snapped back to myself, shocked. What the hell was that? That had definitely been the school rooftop, but what were all those other images? Had they just been a delusion? But they had been different from how my delusions usually were. Maybe it hadn't been my delusion, but Kosapi's? I felt like Senna had said something about how gigglomaniacs can make people see their negative delusions, so maybe that's what had happened. But, placing that aside for now, Kosapi's blood-stained body clung to me. The blood on her was still wet. There was no sign she'd been hurt, and she clearly wasn't acting like she had been, therefore, the blood wasn't hers. I was trying my hardest to conjure up an explanation for the amount of blood she was bathed in. There was nothing normal about this. It was utterly insane. Whose blood was this? Kosapi, whose blood is this? It's from the baddies who are being bullies to Kosapi. Kosapi hung her head. She gently detached from me, then looked away as if she was in trouble. She raised her index finger to her lips. To me, it looked like she was sulking about something, or like she was lapping up the blood on her finger. Isn't that someone else's blood? Yeah, it's someone else's blood. A feeling of dread surged within me. Kozabi, if that's really the case, you went way, way too far, didn't you? The school bell rang loudly, telling us homework had started. There wasn't a single sign of students around us. They had already all gone to class. And so I made up my mind and began to head straight for the classroom. Why? Trying my best not to get caught, I stealthily peeked in from the window. What? And what I saw left me shocked. Homework had already started, with the teacher standing at the front of the room. And just like I'd seen before, not a single girl was present inside the classroom. No way. I had to be sure. I had to be absolutely sure that it had all been just a delusion. I took off for the roof, then flung open the door leading to it. The first thing that hit me was the somber blue sky, and the next was nothing but pure crimson. A literal sea of blood. When hit with the remains of that horrifying scene, the physiological revulsion, the utter repulsiveness, and the overpowering stench, it all pooled together and I could no longer keep the contents of my stomach from emptying across the concrete. Takumi-san, you're Kozapi's friend, aren't you? I jumped. When I turned around, Kozapi was standing right in front of me. Tears were welling up in the corners of her eyes. Still soaked in blood, she turned to me and smiled an innocent smile. I couldn't help but run away. I was afraid of Kozapi for smiling in that situation, for killing them so brutally. I couldn't comprehend it. The people had been there weren't people anymore. They were in pieces, and she'd done that to them. The scene on the rooftop had been burned into my mind and refused to leave. It repeated endlessly, looping over and over again in my head, and each time it did, I was hit a wave of the most intense feeling of nausea. I lost count of how many times I dry heaved. I'd ran all around the school with no real destination in mind. Homeroom definitely started, so there was no one in the halls. Kozapi wasn't following me. What did I do? What do I do? What do I do? Was running away the smart thing to do, or should I have stayed with her? If Kozapi saw me as an enemy because I run away, would I be fucked? If she'd started thinking of me as an enemy, would she tear me to pieces like she had with those girls on the rooftop? Oh God, no. Please, no. But if that was true, what should I have done? Even when I went back to Kozapi now, I'd have no idea what to do or say. I just kept on running and running, almost tripping every couple of seconds. And the very next corner I went around, I very nearly ran right into two people. It was Misumi-kun, together with one of the DQNs from my class who'd made fun of me earlier. He looked at me with clear unease, while the DQN stepped in front of me, blocking my path. The DQN had the most malicious grin on his face. Oh, what's up, Espa? Hey, I'm curious about your powers. You in the mood to give me a little demonstration? I bit my lip. I didn't make eye contact. Even if I did, I knew I'd get punched right there and then. The DQN made no moves to tell his cell phone, though. If he did, however, I very well may have lost and killed him, just like Kozapi had did with those girls. Seems like a few girls from our class decided to ditch. They haven't come back, so we're out on the prowl looking for them. But really, don't you think this shit's a total waste of time? Misumi's here worried about Minako or whatever, but I bet you money they're all just skipping class. You agree with me, don't you, Espa? I didn't respond, and as a result, a sharp pain ran through me as he kicked me in the hip. Don't ignore me, bitch! Knock it off. The second Misumi-kun spoke up. Did you and stuff? This nigga Misumi is the alpha of the class. Takumi is my friend, and you will not hurt him. Oh, sorry, Misumi-kun, sir. Sorry, Misumi-san, sir. Whatever, fuck. Taku, have you seen Minako? She was here before the bell went off. I've been calling and texting her, but she's not responding. Yeah, sorry, man. You were too much of a big fat man whore. And she faced the consequences for being with you. For being with a nigga like you. Seriously, just two shitty high schoolers. I understand they're both kids, but it's really just two shitty people really fucking it all up for themselves. He's a big ass man whore who will fuck anything that moves, and she will stay with him and defend that shit. I had no idea who Minako was, but I assumed she was Misumi Kun's girlfriend. Could she have been among the tattered pieces of meat scattered across the rooftop? And what about Rimi? Had Kozubi killed her too? She shouldn't have. Rimi had been missing for a while, and she hadn't been at school either. Really, I couldn't believe what was still worrying about her after everything that done. What the hell was I expecting her to do? She was never going to come back anyway, so what was even the point? I really want to know, what is Rimi doing? Because at this point in the story, if we weren't on a character specific route at this point, she'd be back. So where is Rimi? Yeah, she would have been back to be like, Takumi, you're actually not real, my nigga, and I'm gonna go save Nanami. Espa, why is there blood on? Oh, it took y'all long enough to notice. A shudder ran through me. It was blood from when Kosubi had clung to me. It was from when she transferred her onto me, and now it covered the edge of my shirt. Misumi-kun's eyes widened, then he gasped. Taku, what the hell happened? Nothing. The second that left my mouth, I whipped around and ran away as fast as I could. I heard a voice calling after me, but I ignored it. I bolted down the stairs. But in my chaotic head Noah frenzy, I lost my footing and tumbled all the way down the landing. I lay there on the ground and lost all will to stand back again. Would I ever be able to find peace again? Why did all these insane, horrific things keep happening to me one after the other? Speaking of which, a voice called my name. I only knew a single girl had taught me that. I slowly, timidly looked up and saw a hand stretched out before me. I'm so glad she didn't get a CG. If she got a CG, I would have been so pissed because this is literally Kozo Orihara's time to shine. I feel like people are starting to notice something's wrong because that ambience wasn't playing before. It was Rimi. Rimi was here. Rimi, I felt tears starting to well up. Not wanting to embarrass myself, I fought them back and took the hand she was offering me. It was so very warm. Rimi pulled me to my feet. Are you sure you're okay? That was a pretty bad fall. She brushed off my clothes, not leaving a single spot on me untouched. Rimi, where were you? Where had she been for all this time? Why hadn't she contacted me? She said she would protect me. Oh, me? I may or may not have been tardy today. Ooh, bad day to be late. Maybe you could have stopped all them bitches from getting fucked. That didn't answer my question. But when I saw that confused, airheaded smile of hers, my fear ever so slightly subsided. That smile had saved my life many times before. And when I saw it, I no longer had any need to ask where she had been and what she'd been doing. I didn't need to ask why she hadn't contacted me. Rimi had come back to me, and everything would be okay now. No matter what enemy I might come to face, Rimi would protect me. Or would she? Would she truly protect me? Had Kozupi really just so happened not to kill Rimi? A flicker of doubt appeared in the corner of my mind. It rose up in me like a passing thought. She had been absent for all this time, but she'd so happened to come back today, and then she just so happened to be late for school on the day she just so happened to come back. And then Kozubi had just so happened to fucking slaughter every woman in our class on the same day Rimi had just so happened to come in late. No, don't think about it. Stay positive. I rubbed my temples with my fingers, trying to calm myself down. You don't look so hot. Here, let me take you to the nurse's office. You can rest up a bit in there. As she said that, Rimi pulled me by my hand. Come on, let's go. Did Rimi not know about the tragedy that happened on the roof? But wasn't that only natural? She said she had been tardy today. And the fact that she didn't dare ask about the blood on my clothes was just her being considerate to me. It had to be. This isn't even the real Remy, the fake one. Remy attempted to pull my reluctant self down the stairs, but I planted my feet right before the entrance. Taku? She kept on trying to pull me along, pretty forcefully too, but I gently shook her hand off. Turning left in this hallway would bring us to the staff room, and after that, the school nurse's office. From where, if we kept going straight and exited the end of the hallway, we'd end up at the sports courts outside, which would be the school gate. I didn't want to see anyone today if it could help it. I didn't even want to walk through the school. Someone was going to find that slaughter up on the rooftop any moment, and when they did, a huge panic would break out. I'd probably end up being the prime suspect since my clothes were caked in blood and all. That was why I wanted to get away from the school as fast as possible. I should just avoid the nurse's office and go straight to the entrance. I planned to tell Remy about the rooftop in Kozue, but when I turned around... Okay, yeah. She's ready to go put belts. Remy was holding something sharp and pointed. No, was that a D sword? It looked like a pair of steel wings, because she's an angel. And the tips of the wings were pointed straight at me. Remy was about to stab me in the back any moment now. Our eyes met. Remy's eyes were filled with grief. She was the first to break eye contact. Softly murmuring those few words, she brandished her sword. She was about to kill me. Remy was about to kill me. I lost control. The second she was about to swing, I grabbed her wrist to protect myself. I was a lazy piece of shit and I practically never exercised, yet I still had enough power to overpower her. Why? Why, goddammit? This bitch! In the end, Remy had just been another enemy. Had she been lying to me the whole time? Just like Yua back then. Was she trying to fuck me over too? Was Remy also one of Shogun's underlings? If she was his underling, didn't that mean she had been behind the Nujin the entire time? And I had been right from the very start? Why are you doing this? I'm sorry, but you have to disappear, Taku. That decided it. There was no misunderstanding here. Remy really was my enemy. This was her true nature. All that shit about protecting me had been nothing but a lie. You're lying. You're nothing but a goddamn liar! I'm sorry for lying to you. But please, Taku. Disappear. Cut the shit! Cut the bullshit! You want me to disappear? All I can think about is how I trusted you more than anything. About how I thought I could depend on you no matter what. How could you stab me through the back like it's nothing? You fucking demon girl! Taku, I'm sorry. Sorry isn't enough! Who the fuck do you think you are? I realized I was crying. A betrayal like this, I couldn't. The pure rage and frustration I was feeling right now. What I had felt with Yua didn't even come close. Remy had shit all over the feelings I'd had for her. I'll never forgive you. I'll never forgive you. I'll never forgive you. I'll never forgive you. I'm gonna kill you. I'll never forgive you. I'm gonna kill you. I'll never forgive you. Gripping her wrist even tighter, Remy's expression contorted in agony, but the pain I felt was far fucking worse. You tore my heart into fucking shreds. I'll never forgive you. I can never fucking forgive you. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna fucking... Kozupi will kill her. It had happened in an instant. Right before my very eyes. Remy's figure vanished. Her body was blown to the side toward the shoe lockers and slammed right into them. She had been done for the moment she'd hit the metal lockers, obliterating them in the process. Her body had torn into the wreckage. She could no longer be seen at all. A thick cloud of dust enveloped the room. At first, I had no idea what the hell had happened. It's my bubble gum. Takumi-san's heart was crying out, and Kozupi heard it. Right before me, brandishing her D-sword, was Kozue. Her expression was incredibly pained. Sweat shone off her forehead, and yet, even despite those things, she still forced herself to smile at me. Stuff like, I'm gonna kill you and I'll never forgive you, so. Kozupi came and killed her for you. Her inner voice threw all of that at me. You killed her. You really killed. Unable to believe what I had just seen, I approached to demolish shoe lockers. The D-sword that had been used to be Rimi's brushed against up the tip of my shoe. It was lying on the floor, deprived of its owner. Liquid slowly pooled beneath the sword. Blood. Whose blood was it? I didn't have long to think to know. Eventually, the D-sword by my feet was enveloped by countless black particles and vanished into the air. Rimi was dead? Just like that? I didn't have the slightest urge to confirm it. Sadness washed over me, and at the same time I was left with an inescapable sense of regret. I had killed my own emotions deep down. Had my feelings numbed me to everything? Or had I numbed my feelings to everything? It didn't matter anymore. At least the tears had stopped falling. Kozupi. Save me. Right now, Kozupi was the only one I could depend on. Even though Rimi had betrayed me, I still wanted someone to believe in. Or maybe I wanted someone I could be with. Someone who would accept me. All that stuff about wanting to be protected, it was just an excuse. I didn't want to be alone. Even if she might betrayed me. Even if I had been all betrayed already. I didn't want to be alone. I couldn't bear all this awful bullshit on my own. If I was on my own, I guarantee I would cease to be me. I would just up and disappear. I approached Kozupi, desperate for someone to cling on to. When I looked at her, what I saw was how terribly sad she looked. The sheer pain on her face. Her smile had long since disappeared. I made up my mind and embraced her tiny shoulders. She didn't fight it. But Takumi-san ran away from Kozupi before. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But please, save me. Takumi-san, are you Kozupi's friend? Who could say how many people Kozupi had already killed? Who could say what would happen if the police caught us? Knowing all that, would it really turn out okay if the two of us stayed together? I asked myself such a question, but it didn't take long for me to find my answer. Right now, I was together with Kozupi, and as long as we stayed together, it would all turn out okay. We had bigger enemies than the police, enemies that were too dangerous to face alone. I need you, Kozupi. I want to be with you. Takumi-san, you're a really super selfish person. Upon saying that, she wrapped her arms around my back. With the little strength she had left, she held me in return. But since Takumi-san said he needed Kozupi, Kozupi will do her bestest to give the protection Kozupi has. Hey, it's really like what that dirty old guy said before. You don't need to hold back. Negative emotions are not something to be regurgitated. That's why, when anyone's to be a bully to Kozupi, Kozupi will kill them. And that goes for anyone who's a bully to Takumi-san too. Feelings, both cold to the touch and warm as the sun, found their way from her to me. Feelings inside her that contradicted. Madness. Kindness. Whether it was the same way her inner voice could reach me, Or was it all in her head? I didn't know. Right as that thought drifted through my mind, a girl's scream echoed throughout the school grounds. It had come from the top of the building. Had she found the slaughter on the rooftop? We had to run. Kozupi, if we stay here, the police will catch us. For some reason, the moment I let go of her body, she immediately sank to the ground. What's wrong? Hey, Takumi-san. In Kozupi's heart, so many delusions are showing up. Blackiest black delusions. It's like Kozupi's being crushed to bits. Blackiest black delusions? What the fuck are you talking about? Regardless of what she meant, staying here wasn't an option. With Rime's corpse lying there, anyone who'd spotted us would find out exactly what we'd done. So without getting an answer from her, I lent Kozupi my shoulder, and the two of us began to leave the school. Not even a piggyback ride? Damn, my nigga, you suck. We walked through the halls. As nice as it would have been to just leave, we were both covered in blood. Kozupi couldn't walk in her current state, and I have a feeling that if we went outside, we'd get hit with the cops are all waiting for us out there cliche. It was probably best to just hide out somewhere, even if one of the empty classrooms would probably work. The atmosphere was tense. The scream earlier had kick-started a slowly growling emotion throughout the school. Teachers quickly ran by us in a hurry. Students left their classrooms, ignoring that homeroom was still in session, and cautiously peered around the school to try and see what had happened. Shit, there were a lot of people. Maybe it would have been better to just leave after all. We had to hide somewhere like... There it was again. That noise again. Stop it. Just stop it. I was gonna go fucking insane. A few students spotted me from a distance. Not just students, but a few teachers too. They're gonna massacre this entire school. Every single one of us had their cell phones out and were aiming them at us, and for some odd reason, they were all holding mirrors in their other hands. They're going to massacre this entire school. He's going to get his D-sword, and they're going to kill this entire school. Coupled with a black raft, an infernal bloodlust sprouted inside my head. Something within me was about to snap. Kozupi's gonna kill you. Perhaps emboldened by my bloodlust, Kozupi's heart reeked of its own hunger for blood. Kozupi's gonna kill you. Kozupi's gonna kill you. Kozupi's gonna kill you. Kozupi's gonna kill you. Kozupi was reacting to the mirrors. Despite the fact she was having so much trouble walking, she raised her D-sword overhead anyway. Kozupi, don't do it! Clutching her petite frame, I tried to hold her back. Kozupi's gonna kill you. But I couldn't do it. Kozupi's body freed itself from me with tremendous force. Pulled along by her sword, Kozupi charged at the group holding the mirrors. Her legs tangled with one another. She nearly slipped and fell, and yet she still managed to move forward. She slung her enormous D-sword. And with a single swing, she had claimed about 4 human lives. It was a staggering storm of destruction and brutality. Her movements and posture were like a novice's. If she leaned back any further, she'd fall over. And yet her sword's trajectory was both abnormally accurate and fast. Her aim was as precise as she claimed each and every one of her lives with a single blow each. It's almost like she wasn't the one swinging the sword. The sword was the one swinging her. As she bathed in the fountains of blood, Kozupi began to cower. Kozupi hopes everyone just dies. Kozupi doesn't want to kill anyone. Kozupi's sword is acting on its own. But Kozupi should just rely on her sword. Is this the real Kozupi? I could hear Kozupi's current mental state. Her mind was in total disarray, a total chaotic mess. I lent my shoulder to Kozupi once more and climbed the stairs along with her. At the very next moment, we ran into Mitsumiku and the other DQN coming down the stairs. Shit, these guys again. I bit my lip. Wait, am I seeing shit? What's with all the blood? For a split second, the DQN spoke was taken aback. But the very next one, Misumi grabbed me by the chest. His face was teeming with fury. Seriously? Who the hell was Minako? Noticing my confusion, the DQNs held Misumi-kun back. Just hold it, Misumi. We can't say for sure if they did it or not. Nigga, come on! I mean, first off, how the hell could two people do all that shit alone? All that, they were definitely talking about the slaughter on the roof. Listen close, Esper. I'm not an fucking can of shit for brains. I tried to tell him I wasn't Esper, but he wasn't having any of it. His threat caused me to shrink back, feeling unbelievably thick. I wonder if Kozupi would murder everyone here if I wanted her to. Kozupi can kill them. No! Kozupi doesn't want to kill them! Kozupi's mind was into a chaotic mess of conflicting, contradictory emotions. Kozupi can't kill them! Kozupi should just give in and kill them. She should just give in? That was the one thing I could never do. Get a load of this, Espa. You know your sister? Man, with how cute she is, you never know she was related to your ugly ass. Her name's Nanami, right? What? Why the hell did this DQN know about Nanami? So yeah, I took it upon myself to show her a little bit of love, ain't alright. What are you saying? Do I really gotta spell it out for you? The DQN, acting far too friendly with me, placed his hand on my shoulder. Even though he was a guy, he was covered with the smell of perfume. The smell was so strong it made me want to vomit. So, we always fuck around with like 10 other people, killing for the time and the sake of it. Comes up that we were in the mood to go out and get some. And get this offer. And you know who was on the menu? Your sister. Offer? Nanami wasn't some fucking object to be offered. What the hell had they done to her? Wait, no. More importantly, who the hell had offered them Nana? This guy's name was Darth Spider. All words left me. Guy goes out of his way to approach us, hands over your sister and goes, do what you want with her. Like, damn, ain't that crazy? What a fucking deal. My vision turned bright red. Within my mind, it felt as if my blood was boiling. It billowed and bubbled, rising up to my head like magma. Whoa, what did you do to Nanami? Huh? I already told you. Showed her a good bit of heaven. Oh yeah, she was also missing a hand. Shit must have really hurt. That had all been real? When I'd come over afterward to check, I hadn't been able to find that damn hand. So that was why. Yo, Misumi, don't leave me hanging. Tell them all about it. You were there the whole time, after all. He caught us. Now come out of your hiding spot. Forget that shit. He killed me. Forget that shit. Forget that shit. What the fuck could possibly be more important? My sister is what matters, you piece of shit. Don't you fucking dare compare that whorish cunt Minako to my precious little sister. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. We took a real nice photo as a souvenir. Yo, Esper, you want to see? Here, let me show it to you. I'll fucking kill you. Let's see. Photos. Oh, here it is. Here you go, Esper. Take a good look. The DQN grabbed me by the jaw and forced me to look at the image. The photograph was definitely Nanami, but she was covered in blood. Her eyes were hollow. And she was completely naked. I'll fucking kill you, 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 I'll fucking kill you. The knife I'd been gripping dug itself deep into that DQN bastard's chest. I brought it with me today just in case I needed it. Apparently, I myself had stabbed him. I pulled it out and then stabbed him with it again. And then I did it again. What the fuck? Taku, stop! Shut the fuck up! I pulled it out, then stabbed it back in. Misumi, and you, And you should all die for what you did to Nanami. You and this whole goddamn world should all die. I'll kill you all myself. I pulled it out and stabbed it back in. Then again. The dehuman wasn't moving anymore. His eyes wide open and his mouth drooling blood. He was very much dead. Hey, Kozupi. Kill every last one of them. With a sad look on her face, Kozupi nodded and rose her D-sword. It reel-booted with a furious, resonant noise, and then Misumi-kun could only share in shock at the abrupt embodiment of mayhem.
Huh?
What? With a single swipe, Misumi-kun's head was blown clean off. She had swung her sword so violently she lost her balance and fell right on her ass. Misumi's collapsing body then fell on top of her, soaking her clothes with blood. Despite looking wholly miserable, she pushed the corpse aside, and then she looked at me and smiled. Takumi-san killed someone too, huh? Was she crying, suffering, or simply smiling? Within her pained smile was a mix of so many different emotions. Why are there so many enemies? Make it stop. She was sobbing inside her heart, but it was just as she said. We'd had enemies everywhere, so we had no choice but to kill them. That was what they all deserved. I wasn't the one in the wrong here. The pieces of shit that I'd attacked were. It was payback for what they'd done to Nanami. Nanami, was she still alive? With all that blood, she was probably long dead. That and her severed hand. There was no way she was alive. They would never get away with this. I'd make fucking sure of it. I'd been on the run for so long, but that shit ended here. I would kill every last one of them. Every last one. When I'd seen that horrible, cruel image of Nanami, something inside me snapped. And now, there would be no stopping me. Suwa Mamoru stood before the gate to Suime Private Academy, gazing intently at the building. The car he had driven there sat alongside the gate, with his back leaning up against it. Although he wore a suit, a rucksack adorned his back as well. Emanating from within it was a small, bizarre mechanical sound. The atmosphere within the school was once of an intense, bubbling tumult, one Suwa could feel from even where he stood. The pure hilarity of it all left Suwa unable to contain his laughter. I know for a fact that today will be the day I finally nabbed Takumi Nishijo's code sample. His utterance was not directed at anyone in particular, and was only heard by himself. Around him stood several other men. Unlike Suwa, their attire was far more uncouth and casual, though they all carried rucksacks just like he did. They were all very evidently suspicious, with their eyes remaining glued to the school, and speaking not a word to each other. All that seeped from their mouths were the same mutterings as Suwa, spoken to no one but themselves. This is why the school is made a testing ground. Then again, that's what the big boy up at Nozomi had built it for in the first place. Suime Private Academy had been founded by an institution backed by Nozomi technology and the Church of the Cosmic Divine Light. For this reason, the number of Gigalomaniacs enrolled was far higher than normal. Their proximity was no mere coincidence. It was simply inevitable that they all had gathered here. And to this, they were all none the wiser. Be that as it may, Suwa could not help but let out a faint sigh. Up until this moment, he had simply employed countless methods of attempting to break Nishijo Takumi. It had all been an attempt to gather Nishijo's code sample, but the boy was a far, far weaker, far more pathetic person than he had anticipated. And because of this, the boy would never find the motivation to awaken as a Gigalomaniac. Never would he have thought that the one single boy would be so much trouble. However, this would end today. No more of this cat and mouse shit. I'll show you the awesome party I've kept tucked up my sleeve. There was no doubt that countless innocent people would die here. But the number of deaths hardly mattered. The Cosmic Church of Divine Light's founder had said so, and Suwa had thus been compelled to believe so. In the end, it really did not matter that the third melt would bring Shibuya to ruin this very day. No matter how many high schoolers died, they would be treated as sacrifices lost in the earthquake, and the truth of this day would be buried beneath the rubble. No one would ever know the murders that occurred here. So, let's get that party started. Suwa opened up the trunk of his car and retrieved his Darth Spider helmet. He put it on slowly and deliberately. When it stood alongside his suit and rucksack, the Darth Spider helmet made Suwa appear all the more conspicuous. But this was not something that even remotely bothered him. With an air of utter composure, he advanced into the school. And upon Suwa's signal, the men with rucksacks followed closely behind him, remaining in complete, utter silence. I lent my shoulder to Kozue, and then the two of us left for the courtyard. And when we got there, Senna was waiting for us. She was glaring at us with a harsh scowl on her face. Her deer sword was out, real booted and emitting a red beam of light. You two are fools. You've been caught in a trap. It's all an assault on your minds, the effects of which are causing everyone to act unstable. This is the work of true evil. To escape this nightmare, we have to track down the source. The source is a porter. They're here, carrying a rucksack. They've been attacking you with delusions. Senna-chan, are you Kozupi's friend? You're her friend, right? Kozue. What do you mean, true evil? What about the effect thingies? The cocky roaches that attacked Kozupi and Takumi-chan were automatically our enemies. That's why we killed them. They also kind of raped Nanami. And all rapists gotta die. Kozupi didn't want to kill anyone. The voice in Kozupi's head wasn't making any sense. Her mind was a chaotic mess. You've given our enemies exactly what they wanted. But we're all being stalkered now. Kozupi's just so scared. Kozupi isn't going to be Kozupi any longer. I felt the same. The click of the camera shutters, the creaking of the wheelchair. Just hearing those things made me feel like my mind was disintegrating. I just wanted to let myself go, surrender to that oh so enticing bloodlust. Or maybe I already had. Do you have any idea what it is you're fighting? I didn't know who the enemy was. I didn't know anything at all, really. Was my enemy Shogun or was it someone else? I didn't even know who was attacking who anymore. What I could say for sure, though, was that everyone and everything in this world was against me. Don't let delusions deceive you! You have to stop, or else your own delusions will be your downfall. Kozue, you can't use your D-sword any more than you already have. Negative matter is eroding your mind and body. You're not even able to walk properly, are you? If you keep this up, your very existence itself will collapse. Senna-chan, are you Kozupi and Takumi-chan's friend? With a voice sounding like it was begging for salvation, Kozupi pleaded for an answer once more. I too waited with bated breath to see what Senna might say. I wasn't expecting anything. I really wasn't, but I am a friend to you both. Senna answered decisively. I'll face the enemies that are attacking you too. So you have to stop these delusions. I was saved. I had someone on my side besides Kozue. Another friend. Kozupi slowly lowered her sword. Kozupi's so happy. Senna-chan, Kozupi loves you so much. Tears began to form in the corners of her eyes. Kozupi's gaze clung to Senna like a lost puppy. Without warning, Kozupi swung her D-sword. Senna instinctively deflected the blow with her own. However, the shock was enough to blow her backward, and she fell to the ground. Kozupi, what are you? Kozupi? Senna had made it very clear she was on our side. Why are you trying to kill her? No, it wasn't Kozupi! Crying out in her inner voice, she swung the sword past her head and held it above Senna. It wasn't she swung down with the intent to kill. With only a nanosecond to spare, Senna rolled across the ground, just barely avoiding being cleaved in two. Quickly getting back onto her feet, she brandished her D-sword once again. Are you trying to kill me, Koze? Simply profusing, Kozupi shook her head back and forth, wildly in fierce denial. No! Kozupi's hands moved on their own! Help Senna-shan! Help Takabe-shan! What the hell was happening to her? Seriously, what the fuck was going on? You've been possessed by the negative delusions. You've lost control of your D-sword. So against Kozupi's own will, she was now an indiscriminate killing machine? Koze, erase your D-sword! Kozupi can't do it! Damn it! A voice spoke, but it wasn't her inner voice. It was Kozupi's actual voice, chanting kill to no end, and the exact opposite of what her inner voice wanted. Senna, help her already! All I could do was beg from the sidelines. There was no way I could have walked into the middle of the fray. Reveal your delusions and neutralize the... Kozupi launched an unrelenting attack, but all she was doing was barreling around with her D-sword. It was a purely brutish attack with no aim, one only a total idiot would use. Kozupi doesn't want to kill you, Senna-shan. Kozupi doesn't want to kill you. Despite her body staggering around, despite her feet drunkenly stumbling, despite her gaze not even facing Senna, Kozupi's sword headed straight towards Senna without fail, doing everything within its power to rip her in two. Lashing out at her sword with nothing but nonsensical attacks, her assault continued. Each and every swing was extremely heavy. Senna was pressed for time. Her expression grew restless. Listen! The swords mutually clashed with one another. Senna repelled her blow, breaking Kozupi's guard. But in Kozupi's counterattack, her D-sword seemed to guard the very laws of physics themselves. Well, rip Senna. Thick blood sprayed from her slender body. That was all a delusion! What? Ha ha ha! Senna Cutter made her way around Kozupi's back. The once bloodied corpse of Senna vanished. Taking advantage of Kozupi's shock, Senna managed to wrap her arms underneath Kozupi's, restraining her. Toss aside your D-sword, Koze! Let go. Kozupi's mind and body were at odds with one another. They had split completely in two. Her small body thrashed around violently in an attempt to break free, but in her mind, she could only weep. Tears formed in Senna's eyes. She was crying. Right then, Kozupi's arm made the strangest of movements, bending in a direction that shouldn't have been possible. A dull crack could be heard as her joint dislocated. A muted scream came from her. Before I even knew what happened, Senna, who had been keeping Kozupi pinned, had been impaled from behind by Kozupi's boorish D-sword. The edge gnawed through her, grinding into her flesh like a saw. In the ink of an eye, Senna's clothes were turning a deep crimson. Gritting her teeth in pure anguish, she tried to toss Kozupi aside to put space between them, but she was too late. Kozupi whipped around, then slashed her sword in a straight horizontal line. and the side of Senna's body was torn to pieces. Kosapi turned to Senna, who was writhing in intense agony, and then she thrust her D-sword directly into her.
死んじゃえ、死んじゃえ、死んじゃえ、死んじゃえ、死んじゃえ。
小津、すまない。すまない。
死んじゃえ、死んじゃえ、死んじゃえ、死んじゃえ、死んじゃえ。
お前のこと助けてやれなくて、私のこと慕ってくれたのに、私はお前の力になれなく。
死んじゃえ、死んじゃえ、死んじゃえ、死んじゃえ、死んじゃえ。
お前の SOS もっと早く気づいてあげられたら、小杖と話している時間が私にとって唯一ほっとできる時間だった。
死んじゃえ、死んじゃえ、死んじゃえ、死んじゃえ、死んじゃえ。
慕ってくれてあり。
死ね。
I couldn't look straight at it.
死んだの？
Is Senna-chan dead? She was dead. Senna was dead, just like everyone else. Even though she'd been our friend, even though she could have saved me and Kosapi. Kosapi had killed her. The sword remained pierced into our friend's corpse. Kosapi's disjointed arm hung down lifelessly, and on her face was a smile, accompanied by a waterfall of tears.
セナちゃん。セナちゃん、返事して。一緒にガルガリ君食べに行こうよ。たくみさんと3人で。また写真撮って。また。
Her heart was crying out in despair.
ねえ、たくみさん。セナちゃん、どうして返事してくれないのかな。どうして。
Senna is dead.
殺しちゃった。殺しちゃったよ。
Kosapi fell to her knees. With one hand, Kosapi softly picked up what was left of Senna's lifeless corpse. What had once been a girl of intense beauty was now smeared from head to toe in blood, with her long black hair covering her face.
こんな。コズピーね、こんなこと望んでないのに。望んでなかったのに。セナちゃんのこと好きだったのに。大好きだったのに。お姉ちゃんみたいだなって思ってたのに。なんでコズピーはセナちゃんのことを殺したんだろう。なんで。
信仰の救いっすよ。
Before I knew it, a man in a Darth Spider helmet had appeared near us, holding a small handgun, pointed directly at us. You. Darth Spider. I remember what that DQN had told me before I'd kill him in a fit of rage. He said that Darth Spider offered Nanami to him. It's you. Huh. Did you say something? She shot me. My leg exploded with pain. The bullet had struck me right in the knee. Kosapi's D-sword began to hum. And Darth Spider's helmet was shredded like it was made of paper. It wasn't Shogun's face behind the mask. Instead, it was the face of a young man. The man retaliated, turning Kozupi into a mess of gushing blood and broken bones, and then Kozupi's legs gave out from beneath her. Oopsie, shouldn't be quite killing it yet. I still gotta nab your code samples. Who was this guy? Who in the hell was this bastard? I couldn't stop thinking I met him before somehow, but I couldn't remember where. How had he gotten even his hands on a gun to begin with? But I did know that this must have been him, the so-called source Senna mentioned. Was he Shogun's underling, or was he some other enemy? I didn't know the answers to any of these things, and I didn't need to, because at the very least, I knew he was the source behind everything. I wanted to kill this bastard so badly. But my aching leg was suffering from an incredibly unusual sensation, and before long, I couldn't even stay standing anymore. The next bullet landed in my shoulder. The impact of the shot sent me sprawling on the ground. The bullets dug into my flesh, and the sheer pain and heat made me scream. Next, my arm. I dropped the knife I had been clenching tightly in my fist. My entire body was emitting distress signals. I couldn't even tell where I was being shot anymore. I was dying. This was too much for me to take. The man approached me. He peered at my face, then removed something odd from the rucksack he was carrying. It was some sort of headgear, with more cables than I could count.
殺す
What?
殺してやる
Rising up from the ground, Kozupi swayed heavily. She was dragging her leg, almost having to force herself. She raised her blade.
こいつ化け物かよ。
殺してやる
I heard the sound of the sword cutting through air. It interlaced perfectly with the sound of gunfire. The D-sword utterly crushed the man's body. His final breath soon dissipated, and as the man's all too familiar way of speaking would never be heard again. Moaning, Kozupi coughed up a splatter of blood. Her chest was dyed a rich vermilion from the bullets of the dead man. And then, as if her strength had been sapped entirely, she collapsed face up onto the flower bed resting directly behind her. A myriad of black particles began to envelop her deep sword, a hulking mass of sheer mayhem, inspiring awe to all those who beheld it. The truly beautiful, yet fearful blade began to waver.
匠さんコズピンねもうダメみたい
Bearing the excruciating pain bearing through me, I crawled as best as I could toward where Kozupi lay. Only a few moments ago, my entire body had been blazing with heat. But now, I felt so terribly cold. It was like I had been plunged straight into a lake on a cold winter's day. My whole body was shivering with a force I couldn't stop. I couldn't feel my fingers anymore. My vision had gone blurry too. But even so, wheeling forth all the strength I could muster, I stretched my hand toward the girl laying in a radiant array of brightly colored flowers. My cold fingertips met Kozupi's warm, tender fingers, desperately seeking something to cling to. Wishing with all my heart to find it, I draped my fingertips on top of hers and closed them. I found myself lying in the flower bed just like Kozupi. The stench of blood was masked perfectly by the rich scent of the flowers. I felt frigid, but found warmth through the soil on my back as well as Kozupi's fingers. The sky was so very high above us, stretching as far as the eye could see. And for some reason
空がとっても綺麗だよまるでブチュブチュさんをたくさん散りばめたみたいで
She was right. The sky we saw shifted hues endlessly, and just like she'd said, it was like there was an array of colorful beads overtaking the sky. From my pocket, I retrieved the cell phone strap that Kosupi had given me some time ago. I had only just remembered that I'd even had it. I took the phone strap in my palm, and then clasped her hand once more, embracing the strap in the middle. I wasn't strong enough to maintain a solid grip anymore, but it didn't matter.
コズピーもあんな風に空に浮かぶブチブチさんになりたいな。
You can. Throw away your piece of shit body. Throw away this piece of shit world. You can be a star if you truly wish to be. If you do that, then you'll never have to worry about pain or sorrow ever again. If you do that, then you'll live in peace and tranquility forever.
たくみさんも一緒に来てくれる？
Of course I will. I'll always be with you. You were the only person who didn't betray me. You were the only person trying as hard as you could for my sake, even until the very end. So I'll never betray you. I'll stay with you even until the very end.
ありがとう。コズピー、たくみさんのこと好きになってもいいかな？
I don't mind. My consciousness was fading, but I answered all the same. I realized that the hand I'd been clasping was slowly beginning to lose its warmth. I realized that the strength was slowly fading from the fingers clasping my hand. But I didn't care. I was going to let go of her hand until the very end. I tried my damnedest to hold back the tears I knew would come. The sky I saw turned pure white, and all the clickety-clackies were disappearing. I figured something had happened, but I really didn't care anymore. Relief washed over me. Relief that Kosupi wouldn't have to see the clickety-clackies die out. I gently closed my eyes, and in that very moment, time came to a stop. The entire world came to a stop. And so, within that sky, with colors as rich as those beads, Kosupi and I showed as stars, floating in perpetuity. Jesus Christ. I have one complaint. Kozue is too gay to fall in love with that boy. I really feel like, and I think I never really talk about this, so I'll talk about it now. But my favorite part of the game is that these are all sort of realistic teenagers. This is the most like realistic I've seen teenagers be in something. Because in most other pieces of media, the teenagers, they act as if they're perfect adults and never make any mistakes. And so when they do act like teenagers, it feels so contrived. But I talk about it a lot. I mention it a lot. Senna, not Senna, but Remy. Takami's whole plan is to make a version of himself and then have that version be a gigolomaniac and awaken and defeat fucking Nozomi and the group of three and then the group of 300. And he tells Remy this, and Remy is like, I'm not going to let you do that, even despite the fact that his plan is already in motion and it has to happen. He has no other choice than this. And so throughout the entirety of Noah, throughout the entirety of Chaos Head, Remy is constantly basically just dirty macking and playing defense on Takami awakening because she doesn't want Takami Nishijo to die. She wants him to stay alive. And specifically in this ending, in this route, that comes back to bite her in the ass the hardest it ever has before. Because she gets killed for it. She dies over it. She decides to take in matters into her, and she says it to him too. She says, you know, I can always kill him. And he says, don't do that. Don't do that, Remy. Don't do that. I need him alive. This is my only choice. But she decides, fuck that. I am going to disappear him. And because of that, Koze kills her. Now, Senna said it best. Everything was over the moment that Koze slaughtered those 10 girls. Everything was over from the moment that Koze slaughtered those 10 girls. But I feel like she wouldn't have been as far gone if she did not kill Remy. If Remy did not attack Takami there, then they would have had 3D swords and an extra Gigolomaniac to actually think out what was going on in the school and figure out what was happening. Because while Koze was probably off the deep end at that point, she was still able to show restraint until Takami found out that Nanami had been gang raped and killed. And I can't even fault Remy for it. She shouldn't do that. She shouldn't be doing it in any of the routes. She should be attesting to Takami's, not attesting, complying with Takami's wishes and helping our Taku, out in obtaining his D sword and taking out Nozomi so that the 7 of them can work together. But clearly, well, 6 because Yua wouldn't awaken. But clearly that wouldn't happen. And it doesn't happen because, well, it'd be boring for the story. But it also just doesn't happen because too many people are conflicting with each other at the same time, trying to be in their own subsect. Ayase wants all 7 of the Black Knights to gather. Ayase wants all 7 of the Black Knights together. Mia is convinced Takami is the killer. Takami won't awaken, and when he's even close to, Remy dirty Max, and then Senna and Kozue are just off on their own, jerking off. If the 7 of them actually work together, Nozomi would be no fucking issue. But they don't, because they're teenagers. They're kept isolated by each other for a reason. That's why Mamoru always goes out of his way to be, that's why he kept going out of his way to gang stalk Koze. And in this specific route, because it focuses more on the gang stalking aspect of the plan, of the new gen plan, they also gang stalk Takami. And it's why he also makes sure to keep feeding information to Yua in Sun and Moon, to Mia in Sun and Moon, and be like, stupid bitch, fucking Darth Spider and all that. But I can't fault any of them for being like that because they're still just kids who have to work against excuse me, who have to work against an entire secret evil corporation. Right? They are facing the might of an entire evil corporation who has almost boundless resources, and the only real thing they have to do is stay out the way of fucking the eyes wide shut people. And the eyes wide shut people are smart, but they're not smart enough to realize, maybe the third melt is not something that's natural, because who knows about a fucking GE rate? Nobody knows about the GE rate. And they're not even going to think about that. They're going to be like, damn, Japan has earthquakes. So I can't fault, and especially Remy. I especially cannot fault Remy for it. I've been thinking about it, but I haven't said it yet. I especially cannot fault Remy for being like that because she is like number what of how many other personalities have killed themselves. She's only been alive for like half a year to a year at like a year at most. What? Takumi, if Takumi made a version of himself in what would have been his 8th grade year, then our Takumi Nishijo has either been existing for 1 or 2 years at this point, which means Remy has also been in this world for 1 or 2 years at this point. Especially with Remy being essentially 2 years old, nobody is able to make any good choices. The rest of them are all normal teenagers, and Remy is 2 years old. I don't blame, and they're all mentally ill and have been through some shit. So I can't blame any of them for being fucking idiots. But in this specific scenario, it bites in the ass the hardest. And yet, I love that we keep up the theme of Nozomi never quite winning. In this case, they can't, in Daydream, they can't get Takumi's code sample because he's basically just using, first, the third melt happened before they got his code sample. So Noah 2 is going to stay incomplete. And then he's also just going to stay in his shipping container with his sister that he real booted from her hand forever. And that uses up so much energy. That boy is using the energy of a nuclear bomb. And I know that's not literally going to be a nuclear bomb, but I feel like something is going to keep them from actually being able to get to him. And then you have the Mia route, where the third melt happens and Shibuya becomes a city of death and all that, but it's kind of left up to interpretation because they need both normal Takumi and our Takumi, or at least one of them, for Noah 2 to be fully complete. Noah 2 will not be fully complete without Takumi Nishijo. And while in Daydream and Sun and Moon, it's kind of left up to interpretation whether they have their code samples and all that. It's like, okay, it's a good-ish ending where Takumi doesn't die and he doesn't get this code sample taken. And so Noah 2 will be incomplete for the most part. And then in the song Sorrow, whatever the fuck, that bind us together, the blood that binds us together, or whatever it is, with Ayase, it's, well, we have shattered the black slug, the serpent, whatever it is. We've killed Gladio. She's freed from her version of reality and is able to see the clear, beautiful blue sky. And on top of that, they can't get Ayase's code sample. They can't get any of those girls' code samples because they're all dead as shit. That is actually what's the best part of all these. They can't They can't get any of these characters' code samples because they die. In Daydream, Rimi and Nanami die. Can't get their code samples, then they don't have Takami's either. In Sun and Moon, they don't get Takami's code sample, and everybody else is presumed dead. In the song that binds us together, or whatever it is, they can't get Ayase's code sample, they can't get Takami's code sample, and everybody else is dead. And then, in The Sickness Unto Slaughter, Senna is dead. Rimi is dead. Takami is dead. And Orihara is dead. No code samples for anybody. Let's assume that getting a code sample is non-lethal. They still don't have Takami's, even though they need it. Because if they didn't need it, then they wouldn't go through this much trouble of making him awaken it. So they absolutely need it. And I like that no matter how much of a tragedy the deaths are in this game. I mean, no matter how much of a tragedy the endings are, or how good or how bad they are, only in specifically the bad ending does Nozomi win. In every other ending, even if some of our characters die along the way, and it's a tragedy, Nozomi is still, it's like Cell coming back to a future where the androids are dead. Even so, they're still deprived of what they need to succeed. And that's my favorite theme that is carried over these last 4 endings. No, 5. Yeah, Ayase, no 4. Ayase, Orihara, Mia, and Nanami. That's 4. So, all that's left now is for Senna, Rimi, and Blue Sky. I need to go take something for this headache. Don't cry at things, kids.